All news, all the time. Is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes. We'll give you the world.
Good evening. We're down to 36 degrees at 7:20. I'm Bud Mishkin. Here's what's happening. Some 16,000 nurses may go on strike at hospitals in the city come tomorrow morning. Governor Hochul trying to prevent AI's influence on political campaigns. Stunning arrest in the murder of an Ohio dentist and his wife. Spotify is now maintaining that ICE recruitment ads are no longer running on the platform. And 1010's Wins entertainment news. Actors at an awards show beaten out by a dog. I mean, if you're beaten out by Pacino or De Niro, all right, but by a dog, we'll explain. Sports, the Knicks are in Portland. The Nets lost to Memphis. The Devils lost to Winnipeg. NFL playoffs, the Bills beat Jacksonville. The Eagles are playing the 49ers. AccuWeather, partly cloudy, windy, and cold overnight with a low of 31. Wins News Time, 7:21. Let's get you where you need to go. We check in with Jeff Jensen.
It's a problem in Queens, westbound side of the Grand Central Parkway with it looks like a single car accident here. The right lane, it looks like part of the ramp to the LIE is blocked up there. So get over to the left side of the highway. You'll be much better off. The Grand Central, the LIE itself is doing okay. The Van Wyck started both ways into Atlantic Avenue, especially busy in the northbound direction. Slowdowns in Brooklyn both ways on the BQE into Atlantic Avenue. And in the westbound direction, you're busy right there by the Williamsburg Bridge. Here's what we see on Long Island's Victory. Thumbs up, no troubles on the LIE. Looking good on the northern and southern state parkways. The snowflakes did fly a little bit earlier, so you might see some wet roads, slippery entrance, and exit ramps. Watch for that. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. About a 10-minute ride each way at the GWB. The upper level busier than the lower. The Lincoln and Holland move well. Jeff Jensen, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Are we looking at a nurses' strike tomorrow morning at several hospitals in the city? Let's get the latest from 1010 Wins reporter Amanda Alexander.
Now, let's say you're a patient that still needs care. Well, word from the Nurses Association, still go get the help you need. But their president, Nancy Hagan, says
nearly 15,000 nurses are set to strike.
The latest. No negotiations made. Hagan says her bosses were MIA Saturday and
They refused to bargain late.
But here's what happened.
Management has spent little time with mediators and at the bargaining table, showing that they have little interest in settling.
She says management's pushing for nurses to strike, but they just want nurse protection, safer staffing, and better health care. Amanda Alexander, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Statement from New York Presbyterian tonight includes this. New York Presbyterian's goal is to reach a fair and reasonable agreement with union leadership that reflects our respect for the critical role our nurses play. We remain hopeful that we can reach an agreement soon. Nighttime drivers on the BQE, get ready. Repair work on the bridge over Old Fulton Street in Dumbo and Brooklyn Heights. The construction will be from 1 in the morning until 5 in the morning on the BQE corridor from Atlantic Avenue to Sand Street. There will be nightly lane closures. DOT hopes to have the repairs done by January 31st. It seems like AI is everywhere, but Governor Hochul doesn't want AI used in political campaigns. She is expected to lay out her proposal during her State of the State address on Tuesday. It will include prohibitions on knowingly communicating false information, as well as the production of non-consensual deep fakes, which is editing someone's face onto another person's body. Secretary of State Rubio says he will meet with Danish officials next week. The topic, you guessed it, the future of Greenland.
President Trump says the U.S. will take over Greenland either by buying it or through military force. Danish political scientist Rasmus Brun-Petersen says a U.S. military takeover would threaten the future of NATO.
If you see the strongest power in the alliance attacking weaker defended areas in the alliance, then there is no point of joining NATO, and there will be no point of seeking cooperation with the United States on security matters if they take our territory.
Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. President Trump says the U.S. needs it for national security.
Correspondent Linda Kenyon, the Danish Foreign Ministry says it could not immediately confirm whether a meeting with Secretary of State Rubio would actually take place. The New York Attorney General is suing the Trump administration to get the offshore wind projects back up and running. The U.S. Department of Interior suspended the projects just before the holidays. It cited undisclosed national security concerns. Attorney General Letitia James says the blockage is, quote, arbitrary and capricious, considering wind projects underwent more than a decade of security and safety reviews. White House declined to comment on the cited security issues, but did say, quote, President Trump has been clear, wind energy is the scam of the century. We have 36 degrees right now in Midtown. We're going down to a low of 31 with partly cloudy, windy, and cold conditions overnight. Now, Bloomberg Money Watch.
The booming solar industry has found an unlikely mascot in sheep.
We want to be good stewards of the land. How do we effectively control vegetation management? The challenging solution to that is livestock.
SB Energy Asset Manager James Hawkins says the sheep take shade under the solar panels and they eat the grass around the panels.
As this industry continues to grow, so will the demand for sheep.
Because solar fields use sunny, flat land, often ideal for livestock grazing, the power plants have been used in coordination with farmers rather than against them.
Bringing the sheep into the solar array has many positive impacts for the sheep industry. There's more sheep out there because of it. Herders are finding other ways to supplement income, and one of them is vegetation maintenance.
Hawkins adds there's been a reluctance to transition from gas mowing to livestock as vegetation maintenance, but he says it's starting to catch on. I'm Amy Morris, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Over 15,000 nurses could be headed to the picket lines. What does it mean for them? What does it mean for you? Stay with 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM every day and stay connected.
Help fight hunger in New York City. Volunteer with City Harvest. Visit cityharvest.org. 1010 Wins, because we are better together. We have 36 degrees in Midtown, going down to a low overnight of 31. Good evening, I'm Bud Mishkin. Wins News Time at the Tone, 7:30.
Good evening, I am Stephanie Officer. A Chicago man is now charged with the murders of an Ohio dentist and his wife. Spencer and Monique Tepp were shot to death inside their Columbus home December 30th.
Police now arresting 39-year-old Michael David McKee, Monique's ex-husband, charging him with the gruesome crime. According to a police affidavit, surveillance footage helped investigators identify McKee after they say it showed a car arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after. Police say they soon found that car in Rockford, Illinois, over 400 miles away, with evidence linking it back to McKee.
Olivia Rubin reporting the couple's two young children, 1 and 4 years old, were home when their parents were killed. They were not physically hurt. It's news time, 7:31. Let's get you where you need to go. Jeff Jensen.
Busy in Queens, Stephanie. Quite the slow go here on the westbound side of the Grand Central Parkway. Right before you get to the LIE, there's a crash there. The shoulder's blocked, and part of the right lane is also shut down, so allow some extra travel time through there. If you stay with the LIE, that's a little bit busy too as you go westbound right there approaching the Grand Central Parkway. The Van Wyck's tied up, especially northbound from Linden Boulevard up to Atlantic Avenue. Southbound, not that bad. And the ride in Brooklyn's a sluggish one on the BQE both ways as you travel into Atlantic Avenue. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. A bit of a slow go both ways at the GWB, but 10 to 15 minutes each way on the upper level. Mainly slow under the apartments. Lower levels better. The Lincoln and Holland move well. The northbound eastern spur of the Turnpike not moving well at all. Approaching Route 46 north of the Vince Lombardi service area. Accident taking out at least the left lane, maybe two. Jeff Jensen, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now your official 1010 Wins AccuWeather forecast. Meteorologist John Carrick.
A flurry or snow shower at a couple of spots early on, especially to the north and west of the city. Windy and cold for tonight. Patchy clouds down to 31. 20s in the suburbs. A brisk and chilly start to the new work week tomorrow. Mostly sunny to the low 40s, but real feels a lot of the time will be down in the 20s. And mostly clear tomorrow night, the low 35. Sunshine for Tuesday, up to 46. Wednesday, more clouds. Still dry, though, up to 48. Then we'll be watching a coastal storm. It looks like it could bring some rain or snow to the area Thursday into Thursday night. A high Thursday in the low 40s. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Feerick on New York's weather station, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
A first for Pope Leo. He presided over nearly 24 baptisms in the Sistine Chapel. It's part of an annual feast.
The world's 1.4 billion Catholics are observing the Feast of the Baptism of Our Lord, marking Jesus' baptism by John. And at the Vatican, Pope Leo presided over the baptism of 20 children, continuing a tradition begun in 1981 by Pope John Paul II.
Correspondent Vicki Barker. Spotify is no longer running recruitment ads for ICE. A spokesperson for that streaming service said the ad campaign for the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ran out late last year. Spotify was heavily criticized last fall for the choice to run those commercials in the first place. Variety magazine reached out to Spotify for an update following last week's fatal shooting of a U.S. citizen by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. A grave robber case in the Philadelphia area causing a lot of heartache for family members of the deceased. They're trying to figure out if their loved ones' remains were stolen.
After a Pennsylvania man was arrested for stealing more than 100 human skulls, mummified hands and feet, 2 decomposing torsos, and other skeletal items, including one with a pacemaker still attached. Christy Cole went to the Mount Moriah Cemetery on the outskirts of Philadelphia to make sure that her family's grave had not been desecrated.
So they're all in the ground, and it seems like everybody that has been desecrated is in a mausoleum and above ground.
Cole is still trying to remain positive.
It's their landing space of their body, not their soul. So there's peace in that, but it hurts.
I'm Lisa Dwyer.
A snowmobiling adventure turned deadly in Washington state. 2 men died Friday in an avalanche near Long Pass in the mountains. 2 others survived the collapse of the snow. It's not clear at this point what caused the avalanche. In New Orleans, a new mayor takes office tomorrow.
Helena Moreno is the first Hispanic person elected mayor of New Orleans. She takes office amid a surge in federal immigration enforcement sent by the Trump administration. Moreno says she's troubled by the lack of communication from federal authorities.
Do I have any more information as to what they're doing now? Absolutely not, which is as usual.
Moreno will be New Orleans' second female mayor.